Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is Rabbi Adam with a few thoughts on this week's Torah portion, Truma. Truma is actually an intriguing portion because it starts off and frankly finishes with real boredom. If you look at most of what happens in the portion, it feels like a giant reading of an IKEA instruction manual. It's a huge set of instructions on how to build the Mishkan, the place where God is supposed to dwell among the Israelites. But there are a few gems that are in the Torah portion, and I wanted to point them out because I think they hold real lessons for us here in our community. The first is the usual one. In verse 8, the most commented verse is the one where God says to Moses, V'asuli mikdash, make me a sanctuary, a kodesh, holy place, v'shachanti betocham, so that I may dwell among them. Now, much rabbinic commentary has been made of the fact that God says, make me a sanctuary, not so that I may dwell in it, but rather that I may dwell among them. And the point there, obviously, is that God dwells not in the building, not in the structure, but in and among the people who are part of the congregation. That in and of itself would be a beautiful lesson. But my biggest takeaway from this week's Torah portion, ironically, comes from its very first line. More accurately, what that first line says and what the rest of the portion doesn't. The first line seems to be really banal. It's a line that's used all the time in the Torah. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. And God said to Moses, or God spoke to Moses, saying. But that's the only time Moses' name appears in the entire portion. When giving the instructions on how to build the most sacred space and the most beautiful place for the Israelite people for the next 40 years, Moses' name is only mentioned once. And when it's only mentioned as the recipient of the instructions. It isn't even something he is supposed to do. What does it tell us that Moses is, for the most part, completely absent from this portion? I think it's telling us an important lesson, particularly for a community that is searching for its new rabbi. It tells us that the Mishkan is not at all about Moses. Yes, there have to be a lot of painstaking details, and there has to be a lot of care, and that ultimately, God willing, God will dwell among the people who are there. But it's not about the leader. We know how important Moses is in the history of the Jewish people, and yet here, he is at best incidental, barely even mentioned. So what does that tell us, a congregation that is looking for its own new rabbi? That ultimately, a rabbi is important, but what's far more important is the congregation itself. It is the people who invite God to dwell with them and to be a special sacred community. That is what it means when we say we are HAMAKOM. Not that we have the best rabbi, although we have great rabbis, but rather that we have an incredible, sacred, holy group of people who come together to form a community. We choose to be a special place because of our diversity. We choose to be a special place because we center Judaism in our lives. We choose to be a special place because we care for everyone in the community and those around. And we always aspire to do more and to do better. I believe that is why we received so many applications to be our rabbi, not because we have a lot of great candidates, though we do, but rather because at our best, we are a fabulous congregation. And we will be fine no matter who the leader is, because so long as we maintain our identity as HAMAKOM, as the people and group that we are, we will be in safe and secure hands for the future to come, just like the Jewish people were with their Mishkan. I consider myself honored to have been not only a rabbi in this community, but also a member for even longer. Many of you know I was just a member here for 7 years before I ever stepped in as a professional. And that is why I so enjoy being a part of this place. May we always come to live up to our name of HAMAKOM, and may we always aspire to keep being the sacred community where God dwells, no matter who our leader might be. Shabbat Shalom.